So the question is, are you doing what you're supposed to do or all that you can do? Hey everybody, it's Ed the Trainer, and we'll unpack that coming up next on this week's Tips on Tuesday. So there's a lot of talk around my house with 3 young kids about what they're required to do for homework and how many minutes a day they have to practice trombone or piano or practice basketball, dribbling, etc. And one of the conversations we enter into frequently is, did you do what you have to do, or did you do all that you can do? In other words, did you put all of your effort in? Right? So if we're required to practice the trombone for 15 minutes, or if we're required to practice 3 songs, but we only practice for 4 minutes because all I had to do was 3 songs, the question at that point is, did you really put all your effort in to accomplishing really what's the end result? What's the final goal is to get better, right? If you're doing only what you're required to do, in many cases, you're not putting all of your effort in, are you? Right? At flag football practice over the last couple of weeks, asking the kids to run around the goal and come back in warm-ups and then do some jumping jacks and run around the goal again usually results in a handful of kids running barely to the goal, not a running around it, but barely to it and then turning back and running back. And the conversation, of course, then carries out of, you're only cheating yourself, right? If you're not doing what we ask you to do here, if you're not making it all the way around, then what's going to happen over and over and over again in your life? How you do anything is how you do everything, right? If you get into the habit of only doing minimally what's asked of you, you're not stretching yourself. You're not pushing yourself to do a little bit extra, to get a little bit better. You're not making yourself uncomfortable. And we see this in everyday scenarios all around us. And a lot of times we see it in ourselves. I'm just as guilty. Sometimes I recognize that I didn't put a lot of effort into something, or I didn't put as much as I should have, maybe because I'm not real passionate about that, but maybe I would be if I tried a little bit harder. Or even if it's not something I'm passionate about, doesn't it deserve my best while I'm working on it? And at the end of the day, it doesn't serve us as individuals. It doesn't serve our own growth if while we're in the midst of something, we don't put everything we have into it. And listen, even if it's not something that we enjoy, believe me, I've been there for sure. But even if it's not something that we enjoy, if we're required to do something on behalf of someone else, don't they deserve our best? And it doesn't have to be work, does it? Our spouse, our kids, our relatives, our loved ones, our friends, don't they deserve our best rather than us cutting corners? So this week, let's make sure that we're not cutting corners. Let's make sure that we do a thorough job. Let's make sure that we put everything in to what we do this week, even if it's not something we enjoy the most. And let's see what difference that makes as we close out our week. Thanks for spending a couple of minutes with me today, everybody. I really appreciate your time. I hope you have a great week, and I'll see you soon.